bigger, we can start bringing out more detail in them. We had annotations. The GamesMaster had annotations before, but we started adding in kind of these extended caption ideas where you can talk much more about what's going on in the game at that stage, where you've got 150 words rather than 20 words. And this was part of how the new redesign, while going older, was going to retain a lot of the heritage of GamesMaster, because GamesMaster was always about breaking up the screenshots and the copy into little readable, digestible chunks, and that's kind of what gave it its comic book flavour and made it very different from the other video games mags that would quite happily give you 1,000 words straight on any video game. So where we had these large screenshots, we could put in these extended captions just so that we could talk about some particular feature of the game that was really exciting us, that we were really enthusiastic about and that we wanted to tell you about. And it was almost like a conversation. If the main conversation was going on in the copy, but you just wanted to go off at a tangent and just talk about something that was really fun, then you could do it in these captions here. We put loads of emphasis on the game name. This is, the most important thing when you go into this page is what is this page about? Oh, it's about Alan Wake. Oh, that's a game I'm really interested in. Oh, okay, right, I'll read on. I mean, it's a key part of hooking the reader. I mean, it sounds obvious. Tell them what the page is about, but unless the headline is really gluing the person's eyes to the page, you could be letting them go. And they could just be flicking through the mag going, well, there's nothing in here for me. So you've got to make them really loud and proud. The screenshots are obviously crucial. People want instantly a very visual impression of what this game is about. So they're very big, they're very imposing, they show off the next gen graphics to their utmost. And then the review box is absolutely key. When people think about a video game, when they read a review, they want to know what score it's got, how good is it. So we had to make sure that was very obvious, was very easy to look at a glance and understand how good the game was. So it's all about the score. We just made that score as big and as impressive and as bright as possible. So you just couldn't miss it. You could literally look at the mag, go, Alan Wake, oh, there's a screenshot, oh, I remember, oh, there's a score, oh, it's done all right, I'll read some more about it. And then everything else on the page is secondary to those three key hits that you first want to communicate to the reader. But the copy is white on black, so it's very readable. You put in crossheads to break it up so that people aren't intimidated by big walls of text. When you look back at GamesMaster's heritage, it was never about big walls of text. It's never like the New York or something like that. So you've kind of that's part of how you keep your readership's desires and needs front of mind. Some key info about the game is necessary, but not the first thing no one wants to look at. So you put it in a place where they can easily find it, a permanent place where it will roughly exist on every page, but it's not very big. It's just something they can get to later on. The format of the game is also important. Which console is it on? But again, you plop that in the same place so you can always find it when you need it. But it's not as important as the primary element. So you can pop it off into a corner. And then you want to have some really fun elements on the page for a magazine like GamesMaster that was always quite knockabout and was always about having fun with games rather than being very po-faced and serious about games. So you do the little cut out the guy's head for the second opinion, so you know who's talking to you, but also it just kind of makes him look amusing. You have the little survival kit for the game, the things that that you'd want with you when playing this horror game. Your torch and your thermos flask and your Stephen King book, because it's the game takes many of the tropes from horror and talks about them. So it's it's just a bit of fun. It's just having a laugh, and then the score box itself is very clearly branded GamesMaster. That's GamesMaster Score. This is the magazine that you've paid money to read. These are the guys you trust. So you have that branding there on the page as that reminder that you're in the right place. And then the old score bars again are a video game classic, and because of GamesMaster's 18-year-old video game heritage, it's just it's right that this kind of magazine reaches back into video game history like that, and uses a device like that, which many video game enthusiasts love to see.
So in terms of approaching the cover, you've got a brand that you don't want to lose, but you want to freshen it up. I mean, how did you go about addressing the cover? Obviously you did it last, by the sounds of it.
We didn't do it last. We did it somewhere in the middle. Redesigns get pretty fraught near the end, so there's no way you want to be doing it last when you're under too much pressure. You want to do it when you've got time. The key part of any cover is obviously the masthead, and we talked about it as a team for a long time, and it was felt that the GamesMaster masthead was basically still doing the job, that it had a lot of heritage behind it. It was very recognisable, it's very strong, so we didn't want to mess with it too much. So mostly it was about bringing up to date the old GamesMaster M, the big metallic M, and this is this big bit of wrought iron portcullis type material with its pennant around it, the Master of Games since 1993, and well, it kind of seems right for an update. So it was brought from a new material, some kind of futuristic translucent material that just somehow felt more of the moment, more of the 21st century. We lost the pennant because I guess that just kind of smacked of medieval knights having a bit of a joust. So again, that had perhaps lost its relevance. So we ditched that, and after that, really, it was about, again, making clear the things that we really wanted people to see first. One of the important things about GamesMaster is it's a multi-format magazine. In other words, it writes about PlayStation as much as about Xbox, as about Nintendo and PCs, and that information was all contained here on the original mag, and was kind of lost. It was lost that this was the magazine that would cover the whole video game industry for you. So after GamesMaster, we wanted to make that. After GamesMaster and the masthead and the cover title, we wanted to make that multi-format nature the most important information out there. There are only 2 multi-format magazines in the market, and if you're going to be one of those, then you really need to shout about it, because you can draw people in from who've got loyalties to any one particular console, but they'll all get something out of GamesMaster. So we made that highly visible in a place where you couldn't miss it. We reworked the old pennant from the M, so we still retained that little bit of heritage, and that's an important part of a redesign. Is